Look at everyone just being all happy on the wrestling show.
Fuck that. I'm going to change that real quick.
I'm sure you will.
I'm going to change that real quick. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like talking in a Southern accent tonight. I don't know why. America.
I think I did the most research I've ever done for the show today.
Yeah, I get that. In the chat, you're like, oh, look at all the research I did. I'm like, motherfucker, I do that every week, and I get nothing. Not a damn thing.
Exactly, because it's expected of you.
Not a damn thing.
Every fucking week talking about how he's the Hall of Famer of the wrestling show. He can go fuck himself.
Well, it's true. It's true. It's not even every week. Oh, I forgot to even change my fucking name, bro. Thanks for reminding me about that.
We'll talk about that and more on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy.
This is the only Hall of Famer on the wrestling show tonight. That's all you need to know.
And welcome, everyone, to another wonderful episode. Today,
The hell?
we're getting our affairs in order, I guess, the state of the wrestling world. But first, let me introduce to you the man of 1,000 marks. Chip Willett is with us tonight.
Hey guys, what's going on?
He says he's done research.
Oh,
Now can he read his own handwriting?
No.
Okay.
Probably not. That's hey, you know what? You asked me to do the work. You didn't ask me to make it legible for me to read.
Hey, that's on me. So today we're actually going to go two different directions, I guess. Fatman's going to sit here and listen to the two of us gush about things that he knows very little about.
Are you going to start?
Excuse you?
Yeah. Okay, tell me all the information that you have about independent pro wrestling in 2023.
There's a couple things here in New York. That's all I need to know. All I need to know is local shit.
And how about New Japan?
Oh, they're a bunch of Asian. No one cares.
See, today we're going to talk. Well, first, Chip is going to talk about New Japan.
So I see what you're doing. I see how you made this card. So you're starting off with the heater,
the hot, and then
you got to cool the crowd down. Yeah, and then I got to bring them back up. And then I got to bring them back up. I see how that.
First, I'm the dead spot. You should know this by now.
Okay.
I know my spot in the card. Okay.
As long as you know.
So Chip's going to talk. So we obviously on the wrestling show, we very rarely talk about New Japan unless it's like Wrestle Kingdom or Dontaku or Dominion. But there's been a lot of things going on in New Japan, especially in Strong as well.
I didn't really touch on Strong too much. I mainly just did the main.
Well, okay, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of things happening in New Japan, and Chip has done a lot of research. And take it away, Chip. Tell us, what is the state of New Japan Pro Wrestling in 2023?
I'm in turmoil, like I was saying earlier, and you said you could shed some light on why maybe I am feeling this way. Although New Japan doesn't really have in-depth storylines like WWE, AEW, Impact Wrestling, there is some goddamn good wrestling that goes on in New Japan, and I don't know why the American fans don't show more interest in it. And some of the wrestling is just really good storytelling, and the ring psychology is great because of a lot of the veterans, but it's just, it doesn't come across in America. I mean, it was on Access TV for a while and then left and then came back, and it's just mind-boggling because if you watch any of the pay-per-views, Dontaku, Road to Genesis, what else? New Year's Dash, Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 and 2. Anyway, they're all really good cards. I mean, Wrestle Kingdom had 4 title changes happen, and Genesis had a couple title changes happen. But let's go ahead and start with the title change that happened literally yesterday. It was the IWGP Women's title. Mayu Iwatani got the title from Mercedes Moné at Queendom.
Some woman. I don't know who she is.
And this is for the NJPW TV tag or TV title, which is Zack Sabre Jr. He won it at Wrestle Kingdom versus Rita.
The movie ticket belt?
The movie ticket title, yes.
As Fatman would say.
Yep. He's defended it 5 times and he's had it for 110 days.
He's got to make it a legit title. I mean,
here's the thing: he's defended it one more time than TJP has defended the IWGP Junior tag team titles, and they've had a reign that's been like triple in length.
Yeah, but I think the reason that they're trying to get the NJPW World TV title over more, and that's why they're showing.
I 100% agree with you. I'm just saying
Okay.
it's
just funny.
It's just interesting. You know what I mean?
It is ironic, yes.
do you think it's just the lack of space on the card that's doing it, or is it just
they have 12 goddamn titles?
right? Well, yeah, but they also have 2 shows now, effectively.
And they usually have multiple tag team matches in said shows, like literally 4 or 5 tag.
Yo, dog, I
Hey.
heard you like 8-man tag team matches. The New Japan staple.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
How did Wrestle Kingdom start for 9 years in a row? 8-man tag team matches?
Yeah.
Just the way like WrestleMania to get everyone on the card. Speaking of professional wrestling, 2023 belt is held by Shingo Takagi. Happened in New Year's Dash as he beat Sho, Great-O-Khan, and Yano.
I like Shingo Takagi.
Yeah, here comes Fat Man's head scratcher. The Strong Open champion.
Ugh.
February 18th, 2023. He beat No Days Off Fred Rosser, otherwise known as Darren Young, at Battle. He's defended it twice, and he's had it for 65 days. That would be Kenta. That's why I said that, because I knew that was going to be the
Spoiler alert, he's my overrated wrestler of the year.
How can he be overrated when no one cares?
I love you.
Because honestly, I was a huge Kenta fan. I'm not anymore. He's boring as hell to watch. Turned off by him by the match, that hardcore match he had, where he really fucked up Tanahashi.
Oh yeah.
When he hurt his shoulder in NXT, he seems way more tentative to take bumps.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
when he
not
came to
the same performer.
When he came to NXT, he was fucking fire. And he was like, you just let him out of a cage and he would just go at it. Like that movie Jet Li, the one where you take off his mask and you just went killed everybody. That was pretty much the type of assassin Kenta was in NXT. Then he did hurt his shoulder and that did take him out and has really grounded his game and I think kind of fucked his head a lot and has had him put on less than stellar matches that he used to be able to.
He upended his life to go to NXT.
Yep.
He did.
And he basically wrestled 7-8 matches, then he got hurt, was on the shelf for a year, came back, got hurt again, and then got released.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have problems too feeling that way. You know what I mean? I'd feel like that I'd had to take my tail and tuck it underneath and go back to Japan after that, when he was considered like the biggest blue chip from Japan at that point.
Yep.
And then Shinsuke got signed.
To IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi.
He's holding the Takahashi Memorial title.
Basically,
9 times now? Or 8 times?
yeah, he has, and he's in his 3rd title defense right now, or he just had his 3rd title defense. Let's see. United States IWGP Champion Kenny Omega defeated Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom 17. He's had 1 title defense, and he's had it for 110 days. This just happened recently, 16 days ago, actually. And this is a shocker to me. The guy goes away, shaves off his beard, gets rid of the colored hair, comes back looking about 20 years younger and beats Okada as Sonata is currently the heavyweight champion of NJPW. And that happened at Sakura. So that's the current 12 championships in NJPW. And let's touch on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So that is the current state of NJPW. Any questions, guys, or any comments?
Yeah, I got comments. So I actually looked up the subscribers to NJPW while you were on GW World while you were doing this. This is in January with Wrestle Kingdom. The total subscribers were around 160,000. Which I don't know is bad or good because I really don't know what the market is. And I guess 40,000 were outside of Japan.
I'm one of them.
So 100 what 120,000 are in Japan. And so I don't know, the population of Japan is pretty big, isn't it?
Yes.
So isn't that kind of bad? I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know if that's bad. And you posted a question and you're like, I don't know. You said New Japan should be way bigger in the US than they should be. And should they be though? Like they have so much talent, which is 100% true. And yes, they do shows in America. From time to time.
But they don't sell out. That's the thing. They don't. Well, I think
they go to smaller venues.
Yeah,
like Sleazy. The one that Sleazy went to was what, like very small.
Maybe now, granted, we're talking literally in the middle of Times Square, but
you're the Palladium.
Seats. What's that?
The Palladium.
Yeah, the Palladium.
Yeah,
and the venue that they went to in
Philly was 2,300.
Yeah, so
one that they went to in DC was the one the AEW goes to.
Over the Mystic place.
Yeah, the one on
the DC Entertainment Center or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that holds about like 4,000, I think.
And then when they were in Nashville this summer, they were at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Those aren't big venues, though.
No, they're not.
So they know not to book the United Center. You know what I mean? They know not to book Wells Fargo Center. And I think I'm trying to put this delicately because I actually am a fan of New Japan. Like we talk about this. I don't watch it constantly like Chip does, but if he recommends a match, I will go watch it. But it's not a style thing because obviously I'm not that big on just chops and kicks, but they do have some great wrestlers in there. But how am I going to put this? It's not an American style. So most casual American fans aren't going to be drawn to it.
It's meant to
but people like MMA and UFC in America.
It's not the same.
I mean,
it's not the same. Yes, they beat the fuck out of each other in New Japan, but it's not the same. It is still pro wrestling. Compared to MMA.
3 problems here I see that are causing issues with it being really big in US. And to be fair, they're going to San Jose, they're going to Philly, they're going to Texas, they're going to New York. So it's not like they're not doing anything here. Like 5 years ago, you got to see them once in one arena, one time, maybe twice, because they had this big deal with Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
that's it. Yep. Now they're going out on their own, having shows. Granted, 2,300 arena hold maybe 1,300. The DC arena, maybe 15. The Palladium, maybe 500. But they're selling out those shows. So they're doing something.
Yes.
But here's the problem. I love New Japan too. I don't have New Japan World, partially because it's not easy to navigate.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. The app sucks.
Yes.
100% sucks.
The app on Amazon is great.
It's better, but not everyone uses the Amazon app.
Right.
That's the thing.
On tablets, on phones,
on
even
phones swirl.
It sucks. I literally have to watch it through Safari on my iPad. And I have to watch it on like 720p not 810 or 8 or 1080p, or else it will lag like a bitch. And this, yes, is a granted it's an older tablet. I can still run 1080p without a problem on this tablet.
Right.
Without a problem. So that's on their end. That's not my end. I gotta do 720p, and I can't put it in full screen. Even in 720p, then it'll start lagging.
That's terrible.
Now,
The app and their website on tablets are trash. I can't say anything about my computer because my computer is super old and it can't run video like it used to. So I'm not even going to say that because I used to be able to watch it on my computer 5 years ago, but trying to watch it now is just not going to happen.
I have decent computers and it sucks for me.
Okay.
On the Fire Stick, it's perfect. It's like I'm streaming like a regular Fox station. I have no issues with lagging. I have no issues with freezing and buffering, none of that, and it's easy to navigate. So for those of you that are listening that are interested in following New Japan and you do have Amazon Fire Stick, download NJPW World, and if you decide to get a subscription, it's only $7.99 a month. Definitely worth it.
Okay. Also,
999 yen a month.
Yes, it is.
Also, that's not the only problem with it. It is very hard to navigate if you're trying to find a specific event and a specific match. They do a great job on recent events that just happened. But if you want to go back 2 or 3 months, you have to search.
I found recently, because I did that when I was trying to find it was a match between Ospreay and Takagi last year. That was one of my matches of the year. I had to go back and watch it. But I found there's a search bar too. That all you have to do is, and that brings it up right there and then. So
right, but if they had a better interface, I want to have type in Ospreay Takagi, like the event I want to watch. I should be like this event, like a drop down tablet. It's just terrible to navigate. It just sucks to watch. That's problem 1.
That's problem 1. There's problem 2 that's going to be a lesser known problem, I guess, or something that's not going to be talked about as much, is that there is still a language barrier there.
Yes.
And
if you don't have Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton, you're screwed.
You're gone. And which kind of, yes.
No. So I remember years back, you sent me Styles Nakamura match. You got to watch this match.
Yeah.
And I'm like, does it have English commentary? You go, unfortunately, no. This is before Kevin Kelly and stuff. Mm-hmm. I watched it, and the match was good, but it was lost in translation.
Yeah.
If I had English commentary for that match, I guarantee you, I would absolutely probably think that match was way better than I thought it was at the time.
Yeah. And
because it's just a language barrier thing. And not now with the new events, they do have English commentary, so it's way better. But Sleazy is right. There is a language barrier there.
Which falls into problem 3, is how they present the product as a whole. Unlike, Western wrestling, where you have shows, TV, stuff like that, building up to an angle, and then they pay it off at a big live event, whether it's a premium live event like that or pay-per-view and AEW or whatnot.
Yep.
New Japan does something completely different.
They show everything.
What's it?
They show everything, road to it and everything.
Well, that's the thing, is that the road to shows are basically their TV. Mm-hmm. They're building their big events, their big shows with those shows.
See if you agree with me on this. Are they oversaturating their own market?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, although getting through G1 sometimes is a chore.
It's 30-something nights.
Yeah. I always go to after intermission to watch the G1 matches only. I'll do that daily.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that and that was part of the reason why they started doing the smaller shows where only half the G1 was done that night, and then they switch over to the B team and then the A team and whatever, or the A block and the B block and stuff. But the thing is that my problem isn't necessarily that they're saturating their market. It's the fact that they're using these shows to build, but they're being they're being how would you,
They're I think I understand what
they're
you're
their
saying.
own thing,
So
but they're not.
Road to Wrestle Kingdom. Just say this. This is an example. Road to Wrestle Kingdom. You're building up for Wrestle Kingdom, but yet they're their own shows that real shit of consequence happens to make Wrestle Kingdom less important. Is that what you're trying to say?
More important. They're pushing. It would be no different than a TV working yourself up to a pay-per-view, but they're using these live shows as their TV. You see what I mean?
Well,
And that
yes,
is fine in Japan, but it doesn't work in the United States because they're more apt to go and
go to the bigger shows.
yeah. Oh, I'm not going to go to a live event. I'm just going to wait till Wrestle Kingdom because they've had 12 shows in the last 3 months in the same Yokohama Arena or something. Where, yeah, if you're like, it's similar to an indie show mindset, except every indie show
It's televised.
their big indie show.
So I also think I want to make a comparison. It is a different culture. It is a different mindset. So TV that works in WWE isn't necessarily going to work in New Japan.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of example is New Japan TV and the way the buff thing is not going to work in America to a certain extent. It's a niche audience, especially when you have 40,000 subscribers. So a quarter of your subscribers are outside of Japan. 160 to 40,000, 160. Yeah, quarter of your subscribers are outside Japan, and that's not all America.
I bet you a lot of them are Europe.
I bet you, yeah. So I can't. I was trying to look for American subscribers. All I got was the 40,000 outside of Japan. So
that's in maybe 20,000, maybe 10,000.
So people know of New Japan. They know Okada. They know Naito. They know Ospreay. They know Tanahashi. They know the big names and they know the smaller names to a certain extent. But I honestly don't think they should be a bigger deal in America. Not like I don't want them to, but you're wondering why they shouldn't be. They're not for a reason. It's not their market. Their name is New Japan. It's not their market. You know what I mean? You kind of see what I'm saying? Like
I understand what you're saying, but
they're catering to a Japanese audience that sometimes go to America. Just like WWE caters to an American audience that sometimes goes to Europe and Japan and Australia and Saudi because they're paid billions of dollars to. But anyway, but they're catered to an American audience. They're catering to their audience, and they've been in business for a long time. And I guarantee you, they're making a ton of money off New Japan Worlds for Japan and everything. And they're making money in America, so they keep coming over here. So the travel expenses can't be that bad.
Well, it also helps to have their cards being able to be filled out by New Japan strong people.
Yes.
And indie guys.
Yes. Yeah, that is 100% true. So they are trying to make a name for themselves with the strong, but it's not, and they do sometimes have, Okada and stuff, but it's not New Japan. I hate to put it this way. It's like WWE's coming to town, but it's NXT. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're fine. Like, I really do. Like, they're touring in America. Occasionally, they're going to be co-branding with Impact in August for another Multiverse United.
They have Forbidden Door in June.
Forbidden Door in June with AEW. I won't be surprised if some of those New Japan guys are at the Wembley show. I will not be surprised at all.
I think
the
question Chip is positing to us is the fact that why aren't they bigger? Because why isn't there more eyes on New Japan in America when you've got, forgive me, but fuck Dave Meltzer sitting there going, oh another 5-star match. Oh my God, Great O'Con's
so the money they're paying Dave Meltzer isn't worth it then.
Well, it's not just him though.
Right.
And we're doing the same fucking thing and we're not getting paid by New Japan.
True. I sit there and I'll watch AEW when I can. and isn't all the time Elementor freely. I don't follow the product that closely, but I do follow the product somewhat. I enjoy NJPW more than I do AEW. And that could be a personal thing. I think that wrestling is 10 times better. I think the storylines are garbage in AEW. I think WWE has them beat on that by eons and eons. I don't think AEW is that good of a promotion. And I didn't think it was when it came out. I thought it was going to be an ROH Light, and it has turned out to be worse than ROH Light. This is like ROH Zero.
Preach, brother, preach.
It's just that I sit there and I watch, and I'll get up in the mornings because I have to get up 4 o'clock anyways to be at work. But I'll get up and I'll watch NJPW. I'll watch the buy-ins and everything. And the wrestling it's almost like poetry, and this is not a knock on Jeff Hardy. It's almost like a ballet. It's poetry in motion. There are some botches, but very few and far between compared to watching something on AEW on Wednesday Night Dynamite, which is their flagship show. And it's just, to me, I would, because I even looked up what the top 10 wrestling companies were in America, and it didn't even give me anything, not even a top 5. But I would say that if it came to the ranking of the 4 promotions, that'd be WWE, Impact Wrestling, AEW, and NJPW. I would say WWE, Impact Wrestling, NJPW, and AEW 4th.
I think
I couldn't be more prouder. Could not be more prouder.
see the thing is here, you're not wrong. I like AEW. There's a lot of guys in AEW.
We say the same thing.
Yeah.
We like the talent that's in AEW. It's
Booking's
the
garbage.
other stuff
Yeah.
that is garbage.
The storylines are shit.
The booking, the storylines, the presentation of the product.
The promos are fucking horrible. There are only 1 or 2 people on that show that can talk.
Yeah, and that's kind of strange
Like,
considering
literally, Darby Allin almost put me to sleep the other week. I'm like, oh God, really?
the man needs a manager. He really does.
He has Sting, but Sting's not a mouthpiece because I didn't say anything.
Right. Well, that's the thing is that Sting's not a manager at that point. He's Darby's dad, and that's it. But that's the thing is that's the reason why managers exist are for talents like Darby Allin and Wardlow and all these guys that their reason for existing is to be this big ass motherfucker or be this daredevil. They're not good on the mic. That's where managers come into play.
So what you're saying is a long way around is saying that
Fuck
Tony
me.
John. Okay, I was gonna. Tony Khan doesn't know how to manage a roster.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
He just doesn't.
I'm not
And-
even.
What's the point? He's sitting there with all this talent, no place to put him. So he's got another fucking show in the pipeline, supposedly, of course. There's too much going on there, and he's trying to book it all.
He's oversaturating his TV audience, and like literally, in WCW, in the heydays of WCW, you had it started out with WCW Saturday Night, and then it went to Nitro, and then at the end they ended up Thursday Thunder, and that was the kind of the beginning of a saturation. But what he's doing, AEW Elevation, AEW Dark, Rampage,
There's 4 shows.
Right.
There's 4 shows,
and a 5th one coming.
and the 5th one
Hey,
coming.
man, you know this. Why did Thunder exist originally?
Hulk Hogan, right?
No.
No. So Eric Bischoff has said so many times he did not want Thunder to happen because it had to come out of WCW's budget, not Turner's budget, but WCW's budget. And the reason why they got Bret Hart was because of Thunder. Not, which was so weird to think of. And then you had talent who were on contracts for per date contracts who didn't want to work Thunder. So it became the B show, essentially, because you had Prince Iaukea versus Scott Norton. Like, who fucking cares?
Garbage, always.
That is what Rampage is right now.
The problem was when Rampage was originally, or not Rampage, when Thunder was originally conceptualized, and they actually tested this for 1 week, is it was going to be WCW Thunder
And NWO Nitro.
The WCW talent was supposed to be on Thursday night, and NWO, their flagship brand, I guess, the flagship promotion or sub promotion, I don't know how we would say that. The stable would be taking over Monday Nitro. And at this point, they're way past that in AEW because you have 2 full promotions under that banner and nearly almost 5 shows.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We can call it a 5th show because they got ROH, by the way, on a streaming platform that does 10,000 people.
And not 160,000 people. So they're outdrawing Ring of Honor's owned US-based stuff by 4.
Yeah.
Even if you count every
by 4.
Just
no
40,000.
Oh, I talk about America. Gotcha.
So let's assume that most of those people that got New Japan World are in America. Let's just say it, 35,000. They're getting outdrawn by New Japan World by 3.5 to 1. And I'm a huge fan of Ring of Honor. Right there, okay? What the fuck? I don't have Honor Club. There's no reason for me to have it.
I used to have Honor Club.
It's not worth it. And I'm certain.
We told the story before how I remember trying to see the feed at Supercard of Honor, which is still going on, and it kept giving a technical difficulty thing.
Yeah,
you still can't find that show because it doesn't exist.
It literally doesn't exist.
I do want to go back to watch that show, but I can't find it because the feed was so bad.
Ring of Honor did not. Once it was done live, they never put it out.
Yeah, they couldn't. It was that bad.
Garbage. Yeah. So one show I really, really, really want to go back and see, and we can't because it was so terrible. The feed was so bad.
It's been a gimmick on the show for 5 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn.
And we can't fucking go back and fucking.
Right. I would love to do that one.
A watch along. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 9 hours that it fucking was.
Right.
But I think we're done with the New Japan, right? Let's go to the State of the Indies.
Okay, so I'll be as quick as I can because we're already 45 minutes in. But basically, there's a ton of great talent, and I don't want to make this a huge an Excite wrestling thing because while yes, they are my alma mater. I will always put them over. You can find every one of their shows for free on Twitch. But there's a ton of talent in this area, in the Jersey, New York, Buffalo, upper Pennsylvania.
I'm gonna cut you off and say how is Sean Carr not signed?
Yeah.
To ROH, AEW, NXT, even MLW. How is that kid not signed?
Right?
He is so good.
And MCW's newest champion is Flip Gordon. There you go.
But that's the thing is that there's so many different talent that's up in that area. There's guys like Nick Sullivan who's just fucking going nuts right now. And I guarantee you 2 years from now, he will be in some company because not only is he great, he's humble as fuck. And I will always put that man over. But even when you go a little bit higher, that next level, the Alex Prices, the Jordan Olivers, Blake Christians, the Space Monkey, Matt Cross. How is Matt Cross not?
Matt Cross is so good too.
Josh so Prohibition. We had that Alex Hammerstone. Jacob Fatu. That level of like MLW.
Yeah, because he's in MLW right now.
Yeah,
right?
but those guys are just like one little over, and they'll be signed without question. But there's so many. Ari Sterling or Alex Zane as
Alex Zane too.
you know, I mean, when he was in as Ari Sterling, it was just they just fucking left him to rot, really. And I'll say this, and full disclosure, obviously, Mark's a close friend of mine.
Mark House
Mark House
just got back.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's back in the ring. He's getting himself back into shape. That man's going to be a blue chipper once again.
What about the fellow wrestling show Hall of Famer
JC Money?
JC Money got back in his 40s, still kicking it.
Yeah, and these guys have so much talent behind them, and it just goes to show you how many times it's luck and who you know to get into those big contracts. It really is.
I remember driving up, you, me, Mark, and there was some other guy. I don't remember what his name was.
Jackson Smart.
Oh, that fucking dick.
Dick.
We drove to Lockport for Mark's trial match for ROH, you know, and he crushed it. Didn't get it, but he crushed it. And, you know, he's a guy that probably should have been in ROH. Same with Sean Carr, because he was in the what was that tournament called?
This
it was like their futures tournament. I don't remember.
Future of Honor.
Something like, I don't think it was that, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He lost first round or something, but he should, like, I cannot praise Sean Carr enough.
You all talk about
for a local indie guy. Friend of the show. He's been on our show.
Yes.
He is so good. His match with AR Fox that we saw, Floppy Ankles, was absolutely phenomenal. Colin Delaney, every match that I've seen of him live has been killer.
Yeah.
Except that one match,
the triple threat tag.
the tables match where Brute decided to want to fight a fan. But
the show was 2CW 99 Problems, and as Kevin the Man Graham once said, apparently wrestling was one of those problems that night. This one of these days, so Brute Van Slyke, another great guy, by the way, great group of guys. He's got a new faction with Garrett Holiday, another, you know, friend of mine, killing it in the indies here. You know, that tag team is great because it's different, it's new, it's fresh, and it works well from what they're doing. But yeah, the thing is that all those guys had a chance to get in, but there's only so many spots. And that's where you take a look at the promotions themselves, and you start looking at what's out there in the indies. In the last few years, obviously indie wrestling has exploded, and it kind of got killed in 2020, but it's coming back again.
Right. When you see a boom in wrestling, it's good for the independents, because people are like, oh, I saw that on TV, so let's go see it locally. By the way, fuck the local promotion that's in Phelps. But anyway, yeah, those are the real Benoits. We're not going to fucking talk about them. Fuck them. But local, but even the shindies get a bump because, oh, look, we saw this on TV, and they'll occasionally bring in a name, you know, from the past and pay him, and then no one else on the card. So, but
that's why you see featuring Nunzio, because Nunzio is 320, including trans, you know.
Yeah. But anyway, but even them, they get a bump when the WWE is doing good, AEW is doing good, all the big promotions doing good. It trickles down to, you know, Impact and MLW, and then it trickles down to the indies. Like it, and it's great. It's really great to see, because it's a place, even if it's the shindies, it's a place for some of these guys who don't know any better to get bumps in.
Have you ever heard the old phrase, be nice to the people on the way up, because they're the same people that you come back down on?
Yep.
That's the reason. You know, the Matt Cardona, this man has reinvigorated his career on the indies. You know,
that's another thing does not get mentioned about independent wrestling is you have a guy that's recently released from WWE. Again, what I was not a fan of, and he literally changed. He became who he was, but turned it up to 11
He became a Long Islander.
and found not like the Jersey Shore that he was supposed to fucking play in WWE. He became himself, turned up to 11, and has made bank.
Mm-hmm.
Another one, Drew McIntyre of the Wolf.
Yeah.
The indies are such a good place for these guys to go because they demand a decent amount. Some of them probably higher than others, obviously, but some of them maybe not, maybe. And they get their bumps in to keep fresh, and they meet new people, and they help too.
Yeah.
You've told the story on here several times about how in Excite the ring broke the night Cody Rhodes was there, and Cody said, "Don't pay me, fix your ring."
Yeah,
like it's absolutely phenomenal.
There's some. Let me say something else about that. And there's Cody's not the only one to be giving when it comes to that kind of stuff. There are been hundreds of times where a vet sits there, watches your match. They come back. Maybe do this next time, or that would look good. That didn't look good. Try this time. There are so many guys that are so giving when they come back down like that. Simon Gosh is a great example of that. As much as we bag on the Vaudevillians, but
we go up and up and up here, bro.
Shit, fuck me. But in all seriousness, he was literally watching a lot of those undercard matches and giving advice to them. And it happened.
Yeah, I was at the desk. I wasn't backstage at that point, so I didn't. Because yes, and that's another thing for these vets that come into the indies and they can sit, maybe not necessarily take the time to sit down for a half hour to critique your match, but they're like, I saw this, maybe you can do this differently. Like you did that well, but maybe you didn't do this well. And it shows another aspect, but also at the same time, it can be the exact opposite of what your trainer said. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it can kind of confuse a person, but if a guy like Cody said, you did this well, and you didn't do this well, I'm going to listen to Cody.
Right. And that's what you should be doing.
Yes.
And that's one of the nice parts about the business is that everybody's going to give you a different
perspective. Yeah.
Because they're different wrestlers.
Yes.
Simon Gotch does not wrestle like Cody Rhodes, who doesn't wrestle like Rob Van Dam, who doesn't wrestle like fucking, I don't know,
Matt Hardy, who doesn't,
whatever. Yeah. The point being is that everyone's got their expertise and they bring it to the table, and that sense of giving back in the indies is very much alive and well, especially to this day. But yeah, places like, and here's the thing, is that promotions nowadays are not just some no-name thing, maybe one or two middle line promotions and then WWE. No, you've got places like MCW, places like AIW, places like Beyond, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, even smaller stuff like NFW and Excite.
What about Smash Wrestling, friend of the show?
Right. All of these promotions aren't just running spot shows that nobody's seeing. They're on Twitch. They're on Fight TV. They're on YouTube.
Yeah, fucking MCW has a contract with Fight TV.
Beyond Wrestling for years had their weeklies on YouTube. Excite Wrestling was working off of YouTube. Excite Wrestling has a Twitch channel. I've already, made mention of that earlier.
Yeah, you did.
These promotions now have not just the 150 people or 200 people at the building see potentially great wrestling, but potentially thousands of people are watching these shows. Maybe tens of thousands of people are watching these shows. Maybe that's a little positive, but whatever. I can go back and say, Chip, I saw this match. Some place called, Excite Wrestling. Go and watch the match between Mike Skyros and Sean Carr. Well, who are these fucking people? Right? How you go find out and see how good they are in the ring. because that's a real thing now. And it's not just like only the big promotions are doing it. It costs, depending on how much quality you put in there, 5 to 10 grand to get your product to a point where you can have it live streamed.
Yeah, when MCW came out with Spring Break this past year, and I was like, holy shit. I mean, it was good quality, it was good. You heard the commentary well, the video was good. I was like, and it's on Fight TV. I was impressed because Fight TV is a pretty big step.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I would consider Fight TV over Twitch and YouTube, just because of the different sports that it covers. I mean, between boxing and wrestling, independent wrestling and MMA, not saying UFC, but just MMA in general, and fucking bare knuckle fighting and pillow fighting, even is one of them.
And I appreciate Fight TV, but I want to make it very clear, while Fight TV is a great place to have wrestling, you're talking about people that can easily and quickly find your product on the number 2 biggest search engine in the world, YouTube, and one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world in Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal. And that's something that's I'll get to in a second too. The reality is this: when you have wrestling that's freely available for free, you will get more viewers on it just by inherently having that stuff out there. When you bring in Matt Cardona to your 200-seat arena and you're like, fuck, I gotta barely make do, right? But now you've brought 5,000 people from Twitch because Matt Cardona tweeted about it live, that you could see him on twitch.tv/excite wrestling or something of that nature. That means something. That really does mean something. And it not just helps the promotion, but the local wrestlers that are working there too. And that's a big thing. And I want to circle this out to the number 1 indie promotion. And there's absolutely no dispute about this.
PWG.
No. Game Changer Wrestling, number 1 promotion in the world.
That's Janela's group, right?
Officially speaking, Brett Lauderdale owns GCW. It was originally Jersey Championship Wrestling, obviously not anymore.
No wonder why it sucks.
Right. Based in New Jersey. Obviously, they do events here in Atlantic City and other places, but look at their schedule over the next 6 months. Now, keep in mind, they just came back from Los Angeles. Ready? They're going to Illinois, Indiana, Georgia, Florida, 3 days in Atlantic City, day in New York City, Detroit, Columbus, Nevada, 3 more days in Atlantic City, LA again, Chicago, Huntsville, Florence, Alabama, New York, 4 shows in Japan, 2 shows in Germany.
Yeah.
And then in 6 months.
Here's the thing. I didn't really hear about GCW until Cardona went there. I mean, did he cause a big explosion when he went there, or was it always?
I hate to say this.
No, we're not. We're not saying Zack Ryder. We're saying Matt.
No.
Oh no, I don't think I know where you're going.
What made it big was actually the dark side of the ring on Nick Gage. That's what made it big.
Didn't know there was one of those. I guess I have to go watch that.
Nick Gage is the number 1 draw in GCW, and I hate saying that.
He's a fucking piece of shit human being, and even shittier wrestler.
And yet he is the number 1 draw, without question.
To tell you about their fans. Nailed it.
Well, yeah. But here's the thing, though. They're doing the ECW model, though. They really are. Because it's not just deathmatch wrestling that's happening. Although people like their ultra-violent champion is Rina Yamashita. I mean, so you've got this Joshi woman who is a fucking badass taking light tube bumps in a promotion in the United States. Absolutely unheard of. You've got the GCW world champion is Masha Slamovich. You know, they're taking steps that most promotions wouldn't even think of doing.
Like intergender wrestling,
So
yeah, it's not just like, oh my God.
Here's the thing. They can take them. They don't have corporate sponsors to worry about. They don't have television rights deals. They can take those. Not saying that Masha Slamovich is going to, you know, upset corporate sponsors, but I'm just saying they can take the more experimental routes because they're not handcuffed by sponsors.
Yeah, they're being supported by their fans. And that allows them to go the ECW route in 2023. They're allowed to have an ultra-violent match next to a super technical match with El Hero de Vikingo, you know, and having Commander in there and having guys that are just tearing it the fuck up, like Blake Christian and Alex Price and all these guys that are making a name for themselves everywhere else are showing themselves up in GCW and making a huge fucking big deal about everything that they do. It's amazing. And GCW, while Matt Cardona, yes, was a part of that, you know, that shot up, I believe, he wasn't the only one. It was their fans that brought them to that level. And while I have to give props to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla did the same thing 8 years ago, you know, 9 years ago. They were the big deal of independent wrestling 9 years ago. If you wanted to see who the top talent was in
Los Angeles.
Yeah, in Bola. And still to this day, Bola is still a cacophony of just great talent. Who won Bola this year?
Oh shit.
Fatman. You know him.
Probably know him, but I don't know who won it.
Speed Mike Ball Bailey.
Speedball Mike Bailey. No. No. I said it right.
Yes, you did.
You said it wrong, and I said it right.
You said it wronger than normal.
Yeah.
Intentionally.
Mike Ball Speed Bailey.
There you go.
He's actually going to be in the Shamrock tournament in MCW.
Right. But he's making obviously he's making a huge name for himself. He was always a fucking huge star. He just got fucked at the border. But the point being is that if you want to see who the big new talent is, you go to GCW now. And I didn't expect that to be a thing in 2023.
Give it a couple of years, they'll die down.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. But
so they're the PWG of the East Coast?
At this point, they'll be the PWG of the world because they keep going everywhere.
Oh, that's true.
Since we got to give this reference in, Sleazy, you said 7 or 8 years ago. Who was a PWG of the East Coast 7 or 8 years ago?
That would have been 2CW.
There we go.
Yeah. So that's the state of the indies. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Fatman's got news and rumors. I know he's chomping at the bit because we got a lot to talk about. So, Fatman, can you give us a little tease?
Teasing. There's a lot of updates about a lot of certain stars, and also there was a Punk backstage at Raw.
Ooh, spicy. We'll be back after this. All right, folks, we're back. So, what's this I hear about a Punk?
When CM Punk showed up to Monday's WWE Raw in Chicago, many people were surprised, but as details emerged, the picture became more clear as he was there to visit. No shit. PW Mania previously reported Punk spoke with several wrestlers, cleared the air with The Miz, and briefly spoke to Triple H. Many people in AEW and WWE were surprised he was there. Some in WWE believed he was there to test the waters of a possible return. No, he was not. Not even fucking close.
They asked him to leave.
Hold on, I'm getting there. Shut the fuck up. You had your moment about New Japan. You had your fucking moment about fucking New Japan. Fuck you.
What a fucking dick. I mean, Fatman in this case, but yes.
God, Chip, shut the fuck up. In an update, PW Insider reports that Punk was on the same flight as WWE talent from Florida as he was doing commentary for some fucking stupid shindy fucking
Was
MMA
it
show.
MMA show? Yeah.
Yeah. On the plane, he discovered WWE was in Chicago, close to his home. He arrived at the arena with other WWE stars so that when he got into the building and remained in the common area where everyone passed by could see him there. He never sat in a private room. They exchanged handshakes regarding his conversation with Triple H. Punk asked if it was okay if he was there, and if Triple H had time for a few minutes to chat. Triple H reportedly stated that he needed to confirm it with the big guy if it was okay for him to be present. Punk remained in the area the entire time, talked to several wrestlers. Within 20 minutes, security asked Punk to leave, which he did respectfully. Although it was widely assumed that Punk was asked to leave due to his AEW contract, one WWE source pointed out that other AEW stars, such as Malachi Black and Latin Flair, were reportedly allowed backstage to sit with their wives at the WWE Hall of Fame.
Question here.
Yes, sir.
AJ Lee is not a WWE superstar currently on the road, correct?
You, for once in your life, all right. According
And
to
why do we keep that makes no fucking sense. How would dare you make a fucking comparison there?
I didn't. This was a report.
Yeah, I know. I'm
yeah, I know
about the report.
According to another story, Punk is in a different situation because of his legal history of the company. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
The report noted for those who asked if it was Punk trying to gauge WWE interest, we were told no shit. Yeah. Punk, who was still in contract with AEW for a lengthy period of time and is unable to negotiate with WWE at this time, is reportedly scheduled to return on the June 16th show or June 17th show. Except for those who saw him, the initial reaction with WWE was disbelief that he was even there. A report added one person for contract with WWE saw Punk there said it came off as Punk was just trying to kill whatever past heat there was between himself and Miz, and theorized that he may have been wanting to speak with Triple H to do that as well.
Under normal circumstances, I would say that's a bunch of bullshit, but I actually believe that Punk was just there just to be there and say hi.
Yeah, I agree with that too. He didn't know Raw was going to be there. And again, if you've been to Chicago, which I have, literally O'Hara is right across the street from the Allstate Arena.
Yeah.
It's literally right across the street. And Punk lives 10 minutes from the Allstate Arena. So why wouldn't he try? And if apparently he's trying to make amends with AEW, why not try to make amends with the people in WWE? He's there. Fuck it. Might as well try it.
You can tell the man's had a lot of history with a lot of people because he's pissed off a lot of people.
Yes.
He keeps doing it.
Okay, let me get to the second thing. Because if you watch the product, you will see that WWE debuted a new WWE World Heavyweight Championship belt with the winner to be crowned at Night of Champions. And that winner will be on the show that Roman Reigns isn't. Sleazy, take it away.
Okay, let me start by quashing the bullshit online that people hate the title. I love the title.
Love it. It's a mixture of the big gold belt and the WWE Championship, and they fucked and had a baby. Fucking love it.
Beautiful.
Fucking love it. Beautiful belt.
Not only is it beautiful, it is the perfect title to send to people.
Yes.
It looks like a championship. As much as we joke about the WWE Championship itself, that looks like a fucking champion.
If I buy one belt, that's the fuck. I don't own belts. That's the belt I get.
Yeah.
It looks like something a boxer would have. Yeah.
Yeah. Very much so. It's beautiful. Okay. Mm-hmm. So fuck anyone who sits there and says, "Oh, it's a terrible looking belt." Go sit and.
If AEW made that belt, you guys would be fucking coming all over it. Fuck you.
Right. Go whack off to Shibata and leave us alone.
Ship.
As for the actual championship and what it actually means, my first thought was, God damn it, what a stupid thing to do. You booked yourself in a corner with 2 fucking belts.
Vince booked Triple H into a corner.
Yeah, but
That's what he did.
to an extent he did. But the thing is that there's ways of getting out of it. But the problem is that now you effectively have 3 world championships. And I know that people are going, well, no, they've been combined into one championship, the 2 belts. Here's the problem with that. You've got the Universal Championship, which Roman's on his historic reign of. Okay.
Yes.
1 title.
Yep.
Then you have the WWE Championship, which he's not.
Yes.
So you can't combine the 2 belts. You have to deactivate one of them if you're going to make it 1 championship, right? Batman, you're holding your hand up on a podcast.
It is video for this.
I was like, yeah, there's video for this.
I know, but
I hate you. You're right. You're gonna have to do it, and you know what's gonna be? They're gonna call it the WWE Universal Championship.
Yep.
So you're going to tell me that you're going to kill off.
No, they're gonna kill off the legacy of the Universal title, but keep the. It's going to be like.
You can't until Roman loses it.
Yes, I know, but I'm trying to make an example. How do you do this? Like,
You have to deactivate one.
You have to get rid of the Universal title because it's the shortest reign.
yes.
You've inherently
So
fucked the
what I'm gonna
reign.
what I'm gonna say is they're gonna call it the WWE Universal Championship, but the lineage will have the WWE Championship lineage. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Because they're not gonna call it the WWE Championship.
Right.
They're gonna call it the WWE Universal Championship. Like it's the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
I hate that they did that.
Yeah.
I hate that they did. No, I hate that they have to combine the belts. I'm actually for them bringing a new title on. I think it's the only fucking way they could do this. As much as we discussed on this, the dumbass ways you fucking discussed were absolutely stupid. There are ways to get around it. There are ways to get around it. But if you want Roman Reigns to have this title run, I kind of think you have to. Vince booked him in the corner. This is the only way around it. When they split the brands in 2016, they debuted the Universal Championship, so it's not without precedent. It's happened before.
Well, I'm not saying that it isn't without precedent.
So yeah, it's just
they've deactivated the title when they've combined the 2 titles.
It's
because
just
the lineage of the WWE Championship is not the World Heavyweight Championship, even though they combined the 2 titles.
yes. So they're gonna have to. Yeah, I think retroactively they're going to defunct the Universal title lineage after Roman loses it, which is because it's the longest reign. You're absolutely right. Like that's. But as for this, I like it. I love the belt design. Fucking beautiful, like we said. I think it's the only.
We lost that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
Wait, no, you lost me. What?
Yeah.
You're back now. It's fine.
Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
Lost the lineage of the 2 titles, but or you're gonna have to combine the lineage of the 2 titles and deactivate one eventually. But I'm for it. However, who do you guys think should win the title? And there is an answer on someone who should not win the title.
It's Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes should not win that title.
Why don't you just bend him over and shove a dick straight up his ass? A sledgehammer up his ass.
Because obviously it takes time to make that belt. So they know before. And they changed Night of Champions or King of the Ring Night of Champions knowing that this was going to happen. Right. That's the reason why they switched the name. So, so it's not necessarily every title's on the line. It's that Night of Champions got it. Because you're crowning a new world champion in Saudi because they paid for it anyway. But
Seth Rollins.
What?
Seth Rollins.
Everyone says Seth Rollins. I don't think it's going to be Seth Rollins.
Honestly, I think he's losing to Omos at Backlash.
I would agree with that. But I think, see, the problem with a new championship like this, especially when you've got a draft literally sitting here, is until you know the end of the draft, I don't
Which
think,
we won't know till Monday.
yeah, I don't think you can make a decision on who you think is going to be the new champion from our perspective. From their perspective, obviously they know.
They know exactly who they want to put it on.
Right. But from our perspective, it would be hard to make a decision. Like if they split up Cody Rhodes and move him to Raw and leave Roman on SmackDown, Cody's 100% winning that title.
Well, that's what they have now. Cody's on Raw and Roman's on SmackDown.
Right. But if they get drafted so that they're both on the same show.
You know what? This is going to be some fuckery. And this is a total Mark thing to say. Cody's going to be in the final of that tournament and he's going to lose. You know who's going to lose to?
Kevin Owens?
Jey Uso.
Yeah, I was Jey Uso. May have been Jey.
Had the bloodline still control all the world titles. And they beat Cody doing it. It makes sense. I don't think that's where they're going to go, but it makes sense.
Well, last night Jay's been going off on his tangents, and he was totally ignoring Jimmy last night on Raw.
See,
so it's playoff season, so I do not watch wrestling. I read, I don't watch. So I don't get the context of like when I read the, you know what I mean? So
do you know who I think is going to be the first champion?
Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley.
Who's the first Universal Champion?
Finn Balor.
So you're going to tell him that he's going to hurt his shoulder in that match too?
Yeah, almost certainly. The man's been, and what a better way.
Just had
Edge
Finn Balor
versus
Cody Rhodes last night. So,
well, that's the thing is that you've got a stable that has a champion in it already in Rhea Ripley, but the top person in the stable hasn't held a belt in forever, and the man is a legitimate former world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Plus,
why not?
Yeah.
And of course, heel. So that means we can have
the money's in the chase.
Yes, the money's in the chase for Montez Ford. No, I got nothing.
So the Orioles made a valid comeback, but they lost 8-6. Thank you.
Yeah, they have ninth inning.
Yep, our closer sucks. Okay, so yeah. I think the Mark answer is Jey Uso beats Cody Rhodes. See, Omos versus Seth Rollins getting booked out of nowhere has me concerned.
Now they're going to put it on Omos?
They're going to put it on Omos. Just
no way.
I hope not.
World title.
I hope not, but he faced Lesnar at WrestleMania. He's now facing Rollins at Backlash, literally out of nowhere. No bill, just announced. I don't know, man. I don't know. I fucking hope not.
You know what would be really wicked is, and this isn't going to happen, but I'll fantasy book it anyways because I'm very good at that. No, it doesn't have anything to do with The Rock because it normally does. But if you were to say somehow split the tag team titles up as well, or have a tag team belt on the other show, you could have Dominic and Damian win and have the Bloodline versus the Judgment Day as the two factions.
Faction warfare.
It's too early for fucking war games, dude. Give it a few more.
All right, we're going long, so let's move on.
Yeah.
Grizzly Young Vets asked for their release a couple months ago. They've been officially denied.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, where the fuck are they going to go? Back to Europe?
Or AEW or ROH or Impact. They're a place for them to go, but
I don't. Yeah, but they're going to go get lost in AEW again?
Of course. WWE USA are working on a TV show called WWE Tall versus Small.
What the fuck?
Apparently, it's pretty much Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, but with WWE talent.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now let's get to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more.
Holy shit. Going through the speed round here.
Oh, these aren't speed. These are all on my tablet, so I got to read a lot. Tessa Blanchard posted on Instagram.
Oh God.
Wait, no, let me just skip that part. According to several independent sources, AEW showed no interest in Blanchard, as several female workers employed there have reportedly told stories about their backstage and in-ring issues with Blanchard to Tony Khan. WWE has shown some interest in her, but their offers have been inadequate, according to her, and they wanted to return her to NXT. She was there in 2006. Another independent source said no matter what fences she may have mended, because she did mend them with the girl, the Rosa Negro, both WWE and AEW will remain their stance. Given the Rosa incident, the perception of Blanchard as a bully by other talent, and the reported falling out with women of wrestling, the industry as a whole believes Blanchard is difficult to work with. Blanchard's hopes have recently been with AEW, given her father Tully worked there and her desire to be pushed on TV immediately. AEW, on the other hand, is likely listening to their talent who have worked with her and continues to show no interest. Things may change since
ROH.
No.
Plans changed since Crown Jewel.
Thank you. If Blanchard's reputation among talent improves, or if AEW and WWE are in desperate need of talent,
which they'll never will be. She's a great talent, but she's fucking nuclear. You can't touch her with a 10-foot pole.
Mercedes, Sasha, haven't done that in a long time. Monet is about to become a free agent soon. Monet's management has stated that she has no dates with Stardom.
That's not true.
She is.
That's already not true.
He is said to be willing to work more Stardom dates, but it require a big renegotiation following the business she drew to help them. Hold on. It gets contradicted later. Fightful is also informed that the rumored extension covers the New Japan Strong Resurgence show on May 21st. According to New Japan Pro Wrestling sources, the length of her contract is unknown, but she will not compete for at least a little while. According to
Fuck Dave Meltzer. God damn.
Mentioned that people backstage at Stardom were impressed with Monet and how she interacted with everyone. With Stardom, the door appears to be open for more, but it appears that after May 21st, she would pop up anywhere if the price is right for her. There's another report that states that she is well liked backstage. She doesn't come across as a star, and that it essentially just says that she doesn't come across as a star. She doesn't brag about money and all this stuff. She even posted on Twitter to Meltzer saying that he's a piece of shit for lying about how much she makes with Stardom in New Japan.
Okay. Multiple things I want to point out. Number one, she did the fucking job.
Yeah.
Transition.
Not necessarily.
Well, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
We called it. We called it. She'll be Kyrie and Mayu beats her. We all called it.
Yeah.
In January. In January.
So I great. So she did the job and went out clean as a whistle, by the way. I want to point out. Even as a heel, went out there, did the JOB, did a great job. Watched the match, loved it. Not like the best match ever, but it was a great match. Everyone and their brother says that she has a love of Japanese wrestling, and she's had a lot of respect for it. And that's very apparent in everything she does from a presentation standpoint.
Even in WWE.
Yeah. There's shit she was doing that was tipping her hat to them then.
Mm-hmm.
So to have them go, well, if the money's right, she'll stay and not. I don't believe that. I really don't. Now, keep in mind that once again, it's not a contract to Stardom. It's not a contracted
It's
New Japan.
Bushiroad.
It's Bushiroad, yes. So it's not strictly a call that, you know, one promotion or the other has over it. It's Bushiroad being the person that's, or the company that's paying out. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up in other places.
Oh no, I wouldn't be surprised either.
But the way it was phrased was like, oh yeah, I'm out of here if I don't get $500,000 right now.
Right.
It's like, no way. I don't believe that. It might be true, but I don't believe it.
As WWE prepares to begin negotiations with NBC Universal over its next media rights deal, NBC CEO Jeff Schill resigned on Sunday.
Oops.
Comcast today announced that the company and Jeff Schill, CEO of NBC Universal, have mutually agreed that Mr. Schill will depart effective immediately following the company's investigation led by an outside counsel into a complaint of inappropriate conduct.
Well done, sir.
This is from Mr. Schill himself. Today's my last day as CEO of NBC Universal. I had an inappropriate relationship with a woman in the company, which I deeply regret. I'm truly sorry. So he had an affair. Come on. You're going to fire him over an affair. Cool.
Sorry, CEO, you're held to a different standard.
I know. I'm truly sorry I let my Comcast and NBC Universal colleagues down. There are so much talented people in the business, the opportunity to work with over 19, blah, blah, blah. Schill, this has this to say in 2020 about WWE. WWE is a kind of a perfect property for us. The streaming deal included thousands of dollars of programming that was behind a paywall, but that will now put up as a free service on Peacock, which they kind of did, but not really, which will not only enhance a brand for WWE, but will monetize through advertising. We have the events that are beyond the paywall to use the pay-per-views to drive our $4.99 preview on Peacock. So he was a really big ally of WWE, and now he's gone. I don't see that being a factor in.
They're public companies. It'll be numbers. That's it.
Yep.
And especially now that it's with Endeavor. To touch upon the CEO thing, I have no sympathy whatsoever. The man's making so much money that,
right,
you know,
his severance is going to be probably more than I'm making my lifetime. So, right. Sleazy, I know how much you love ads on your wrestling problem. I fucking knew it. Nick Khan recently spoke with Light Shed Live about WWE's sale to the Endeavor Group and will merge with WWE UFC. When asked if WWE would consider having sponsors featured on their ring mats, which is similar to UFC, Nick Khan said he was open to the idea. He stated, "We are open for business. Ring mat, ring apron, the turnbuckles, anything can be sold. We want to explore selling it. Obviously, it needs to be the right product. It can't be too distracting. And if it's the right relationship and the right company, we're good to go."
You know, that has the company that just bought them all over it. Because the US
brought to you by
7-2 Slim Jim, dig it.
Well, I was gonna go Cialis for when you want to be, you know, as
strong as
post.
Dude, that's Blue Chew. All the wrestlers.
Oh, sorry, excuse me, Blue Chew.
So hard that a cat couldn't scratch it.
Here's the problem. We sit here and I complain about this, but what's one of the biggest wrestling promotions in the world that does the same thing right now?
New Japan. We just talked about them.
Yes. So I can't be too bitchy about it. But the reality is that I'm not worried about ring mats as much as I'm worried about the constant recall of it. You know what I mean?
Got you. No, I understand completely what you said.
Yeah. I mean,
getting bombarded with different ads every 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's one thing when it's on, let's use NASCAR as an example. The Winston Cup, which isn't a thing anymore, I don't believe. Pretty sure.
It's series.
But you look at all the cars with all the little sponsorship deals on them, whatever.
Dude, Calgate Knights has put a big freaking Fig Newton symbol on the fucking on the windshield. We all know.
There you go.
Just do it.
But the thing is that that's a little bit more passive, you know. But when you have every 5 minutes, that slam brought to you by Slim Jim, oh my God, he did the move of the night, brought to you by Progressive. You know,
Right.
that's where I see this is going.
No,
I'm already starting that.
I
So,
Ever-
another hand raising thing.
We're not-
Nitro, the quick pick of the night presented by Valvoline. They've been doing this for decades. This is not nothing new.
I'm not saying it's anything new. I'm just saying that there's going to be more of it. It's one thing when you do it once a show. It's
Okay.
another when you're doing it every single match and during the match. You know what I mean?
No, I understand what you're saying. Yep.
It's not the fact that it's happened or it's happening. It's the fact that how far can they push it? And I'm afraid that as a public company, they're going to push it to the point where it's going to absolutely detract away from the match.
Okay.
There's
I see what you're
eventually going to be a point where you have that Logan Paul Roman Reigns moment, and all around it is in the bottom corner is the mascot for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and on the other side is Corey Graves shoving a fucking Snickers in his mouth while it's happening, and there's like 15 different ads right in the middle of this picture or something.
I see your point.
I get it. Once again,
I was just going to say they'll make more money doing that
yeah,
than they will. They made $20 million in sponsorships for 2 nights of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
10 million a night in sponsorship deals. There's money to be made.
I 100% understand why they're doing it. I've never disagreed with the philosophy of it.
You just don't like it.
No, I'm a fan of professional wrestling. I want to watch professional wrestling.
You don't want to watch a constant 3-hour commercial. I understand. Okay.
There's a reason why I don't watch network TV anymore. That's gotten way worse than it used to be.
Even in hockey games, they had that shit in basketball.
I mean, watching hockey now, literally the boards change with different ads. There's a DraftKings
TV though.
There is an LED.
Yes, I know it's only
board.
Yeah.
There's literally an LED board right on the ring apron.
Yep.
Where do you think that's going?
Yep. Okay, keep moving on. This report is absolute bullshit, but I want to read it just to piss Sleazy off.
Thank you.
The SI Media with Jeremy Trana podcast featured an interview with James Andrew Miller, an author, reporter, and podcast host. Miller used to be an executive vice president of original programming for USA and worked for the Washington Post. Miller discussed his first WrestleMania experience and mentioned that Warner Brothers Discovery has interest in WWE. Regarding Warner Brothers' interest, I think there's interest. I wouldn't be surprised, despite the fact that money is such an issue for them. I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Brothers Discovery wouldn't like a slice of that WWE pie. He continued to speculate that Warner Brothers Discovery might move Raw off of Monday so it's not as to clash with other sporting events. Trana brought up the fact that Warner Brothers already broadcast AEW, and he inquired as to whether they would like to add WWE to their current programming or whether WWE would take place in AEW. He says, I don't know, but I know there are people at Warner Brothers who are interested in WWE.
Of course, they're a big company. Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't there be interest?
They're number one in their demographics on the nights that they provide weekly content. Of course they are.
In the upcoming months, negotiations for a new TV deal begin between WWE and AEW. Not between them, but okay. All indications point to Warner Brothers Discovery being satisfied with AEW. There have been rumors that they're getting another 2-hour AEW show to Saturday nights. There is no indication that Warner Brothers and WWE has talked.
Yeah, because there's no reason for them to talk.
No,
they have enough money.
You're absolutely right. One, they'll be stupid not to be interested. Two, they are not. They couldn't afford it.
Yeah, the people that can afford it can bid many times more than their entire company's worth.
I mean, just look at Max.
Jesus Christ.
Ted DiBiase Jr. is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and to commit theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, 6 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, 4 counts of money laundering. If convicted, he is faced up to a maximum of 5 years in prison for the conspiracy count, a maximum of 20 years in prison for each wire fraud count, and a maximum of 10 years in prison for each of the theft concerning programs receiving federal funds and each count for money laundering.
He takes a deal, he does 3 years, and he'll be out by.
This is part of the whole Brett Favre thing too.
Yeah.
So
Really?
Yeah, he's no chance he's doing that much prison time. He'll take a deal first, and I guarantee
he already pled not guilty.
Doesn't matter.
I know they can do a Gil. I'm just saying, like he got.
Well, of course, he's going to plead not guilty right now.
Yeah.
Until there's a deal on the table, he's going to plead not guilty.
WWE banned the use of third-party services of Twitch and Cameo for main roster talent 2020. In an update reported as an agreement has been reached between WWE wrestlers to return to Twitch with almost no restrictions. It is confirmed through talent that WWE's Twitch cut is from the Twitch side, not the talent side. So the cut of the wrestlers will be the same as everyone else with a Twitch channel. Spoke to sources. This is some dick bag. Spoke to sources.
The source is some dick bag.
Dick bag. Regarding the Twitch deal, according to them, WWE execs negotiate for talents to get a larger cut than the other creators on the platform. This is described to me as a very talent-friendly deal.
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to be very clear about this. If this is true, and they're actually getting every single dollar on their own, that's great.
What I heard.
There's one big question I have.
Okay, ask the question and I'll tell you what I heard.
Is the money going to be put against their downside guarantee?
I don't think so.
Because if it is, then it's the same problem as they had before.
I don't think so.
If it's not, great.
What I heard was that Twitch was getting 50% of the cut, WWE was getting 20% of the cut, and the talent was getting 30% of the cut.
That's normal. Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. So half the cut's going to Twitch, but then the talent's getting 30% and WWE's getting 20 or something like that. So okay. One more thing. It's about Big E. While Big E returns to the ring has not been publicly discussed, it appears that there have been initial plans for it. Xavier Woods is unable to defeat Gunther Walter for the Intercontinental Championship Friday night at SmackDown. Woods was left wondering what comes next because the IC title was a once-in-a-career opportunity for him. The current plan, because he says fuck Dave Meltzer, so he's got it right. Plans changed his crowd jewel. The current plans for Woods to go up against Gunther and the rest of Imperium with a New Day once Kofi and Big E are cleared, with Big E versus Walter serving as a focal point of the feud. There's no word on either of them appearing on WWE television, but it's interesting to see that Big E has initial plans, given that there was concern that following a drop on the back of his neck last year, he might not be able to beat again. Despite a loss, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is speculation at this point. Man, that broken neck was high up. You can't do surgery on it. Glad Big E said he wasn't in pain. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I
love Big E. Okay. I no doubt about that in my mind. That man is a fucking joy as a performer. I don't think he'll be back in the WWE. I really don't think so.
Not as a performer.
Not as a performer. Commentator, maybe.
Manager, yep.
Possibly. But I don't see him at least working more than one match every 5 years or something.
I wouldn't even go that far. As a guy, documented neck issues, would not chance it.
Yeah. Well,
would not chance it.
I wouldn't think that Edge would have chanced it either, but here we are.
He has 2 neck fusions.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to see him get hurt. If he wants to come back, and he's cleared, let him. I mean, he's cleared. A doctor cleared him. But man, I'm going to be cringe watching him take bumps.
I just
So
wanna see him take neck bumps in Japan. It's fine.
yeah, he'll definitely be dead. All right,
Paper toss?
paper toss.
Awesome. Chip, put yourself on.
Actually, there's two things that Fatman didn't touch on that I read about today.
Okay, go for it.
Number one, did you all see that Solo lost at a live show?
It doesn't matter.
It's a live show.
Who cares? I saw
obviously-
that and everyone was making a big deal out of it. Who fucking cares? He already lost on TV. It does not matter. He lost on a fucking live show. That's why I didn't bring it up. Not yell at you, but Jesus fucking Christ, it ain't a big deal. If he lost to fucking
Who do you lose to?
Mustafa Cody, if he lost to Mustafa Ali, it'd be fucking cringe. But he lost to the fucking top baby face of the company. It ain't a fucking big deal.
Wait,
Jesus Christ.
wait.
You see, Sokola lost at a live event. Who cares?
Hang on. Solo Sikoa lost to the top babyface of the company.
How dare he?
Wait.
Who's already beaten him on
Sami
TV?
Zayn was not in that match. How
You're a
dare
fucking mark. You're a fucking mark.
fuck you? He's
You're a
not
fucking
the top
mark.
babyface. Go fuck yourself.
You're a
And-
fucking mark.
Get back into brand pay-per-views.
Mm-mm.
I guarantee you that's not going to happen.
Don't think so either.
Without question. That is one of the few things that I don't think they'll ever bring back because they watched how
Well,
terrible they did.
they were on the network when they did in 2016. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they tried it again, and it's like no.
Even on the network, yeah, I don't think so.
All right. Well, those were the two things. Anyway, you can
so hold on. I know we're going way long, almost 2 hours, but
Yeah,
I can see them opening up to 2 premium live events a month.
okay.
That's not like a WrestleMania or nothing. One for Raw, one for SmackDown. I could see, so there may be some merit to what Chip is saying there. I could see them doing that. I don't think they would, but I think it's not about the realm of possibility. Okay.
All right, you can find me and Fatman on the Best Darn Sports Show Period 2 on Facebook Live and Twitch. On tomorrow, actually, we're continuing our mock draft of the NFL. We all three decided to pick 31 picks and how they're going to go. We were kind of in tune. I went off on a couple tangents yesterday, as part one was on Monday night, and you can find that on our Facebook page. And we will be going live tomorrow at, are we doing 8 p.m.? No, I can't. No, I
let's
can't.
get, I
Yeah.
say 8
I
or
think
9.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it.
Yeah. So anyway, you can find me on Twitch at TWS_Mark with 4 A's.
Awesome. Check out the wrestling show on Reddit. And I'm at TWS Sleazy.
TWS Fatman.
We are Sleazy Fatman on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Please go on over there and give us a like. Videos you can find at twitch.tv/sleazyfatman, youtube.com/sleazyfatman, and premium videos at onlyfans.com/wrestling show. You can find all sorts of content at thewrestlingshow.com, including articles, merch, and ton of other cool stuff. You can go to our merch store specifically at shop.thewrestlingshow.com. Expect some new designs coming out within the next couple of months. Really cool stuff coming down the pike. You can get this podcast every Saturday morning wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean. Don't hesitate to rate us on your favorite platform. It really helps us out. And don't hesitate to get that automatic download so you can get it at 8 a.m. fresh and beautiful on your device. So with thanks to Chip, and as always, for Sleazy,
For the Fatman.
this is The Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace.
Fuck Dave Meltzer. Fuck Tony Khan. A hot dog's not a sandwich. A sub is not a sandwich. A burger is a sandwich.
Draft.
And next week, we're doing ourselves a draft.
Ooh.
We're doing ourselves a draft. Yeah, I got to go see. I got to bring him back because I was talking to Southern accent before. Now I got to talk to Southern accent now. So we're gonna do a draft, America.
a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun.